everyone, we're back with another home maintenance tip, and today we're talking about getting to know where your electrical switchboard is. So this one is inside. You can see the floor upstairs. This is an Aussie home, and sometimes you will find your switchboard inside. Other times you'll find it outside, and sometimes it will be on the side of the house, and it will have a lockable, sometimes lockable, metal case. But it's a good idea to get to know where it is, so that if you ever need to turn the power off, for example, if you were going to get up inside your roof space, you should be turning the power off before you get up there, because the risk of electrocution is higher up there. So this is my one here, and it's basically been retrofitted, or it's been upgraded to include safety switches on every circuit. So not every house will have these. When I first moved in, it didn't have, it might have had one safety switch, and you can tell whether it's a safety switch if it has these little test buttons that you can see here. Okay, I think when I moved in here, it had one safety switch, and then all of these circuits here had they were just circuit breakers, so they had no test button. And these are really important to protect against a bunch of things. I'm not an electrician, but electric shocks and that sort of thing. I think the way they work is they detect leakage of power, and then they automatically switch off once they detect the leakage of power. So for example, if you put your hand on the cable, then the power's leaking away. I think that's how it works anyway, and it would detect that, and then within a matter of not even 1 second, it would have shut the power off. And they are something that's really important. And so when I moved in here, I made sure that I got this upgraded. Now, I always just come down and have a check every so often. I don't take the cover off or anything, because it's pretty dangerous to be stuffing around with electricity. The cover's there for a reason, to stop you from touching anything that's live. But I'm looking for anything melted, any bad smell, any staining. If they happen to be black or brown, colouring around here where one of them's overheating or melting or something like that, is what I'm looking for. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty recent upgrade, only the last few years, so it should be pretty good. The other thing I do a few times a year is you're supposed to test these buttons. So these ones here, okay, I'm not going to do all of them, because I'm doing things. I've got things running, computers running, and that sort of thing. I don't want to turn them off, but I might just do the ones that are not, just to show you what it's like. So each of your it's actually a requirement that each of your circuits is labelled to what it is. So if you need to turn something off, you can. This has been changed, so there's a couple that probably need to be main switches. No longer here, it's up there. Okay, and I'm just going to show you what it's like when you test them. So this is air cons. Okay, and you can see that's just a test, and it switches it off. Air con, another air con, and I might just do the oven. Okay, because I'm not using those at the moment. But you should do those, make sure they flick off. If you're pressing the button and they're not flicking off, then there might be a problem with that safety switch, and you might need to get it looked at. Don't look at it yourself, get a licensed electrician to come in and have a look. Okay, once you've done that, you can do them all, obviously. Every so often, a couple times a year, make sure they're all working. Just be prepared that you're going to have to reset any clocks or any other settings that might be reset if you turn the power off. Once you've done that, you can just turn them back on. It's easy. Just flick your switches back this way, and you're back in business. And it's that simple. But yeah, just have a look. jump in, find out where your switchboard is, and make sure it's accessible and you know it's all clearly labelled. And consider getting the safety switches if you haven't already, because they do save lives, and they are, you know, the latest equipment that you can get to protect yourself and anyone else that's in your house from, you know, potentially death from faulty electrical fault in your house. All right, that's about it. We'll see you on the next one.